Okay, welcome everyone to my CAD session. In this first part of the session, I'll quickly guide you through different buttons and tools of CAD 2020 interface. I've opened a drawing sheet called Drawing 1. Now, in this button portion, I call it a status bar of CAD. We can see model, layout 1 and layout 2. What they actually do is, we always create a drawing in our model space. After we have finished or we are done with our drawing, we switch to the paper space layout. It creates a scaled view of the model on a standard sized drawing sheet. Moving forward, we have a button called model or paper space. It does the job of switching the model and paper space. Then we have grid mode. Now it just displays the grid on your drawing sheet or disables the grid on your drawing sheet. It's your choice. And moving forward, we have ortho mode. Now what ortho mode does is it helps you to create a perpendicular angle between lines. Like you have pressed L command, which is the shortcut for line, and you have suppose created a line of any random length, and CAD automatically detects you or directs you to the ortho direction. Likewise, you have polar tracking button. We can see a series of options in this polar tracking settings. Suppose I have selected one of them, that is angles with intervals of 45 degree each, and if I have enabled the feature, then it actually helps me to direct my angle in the specified direction. Suppose I create a line, and if I want my line to be in the angle of 45 degree, and if I have enabled this feature, then on moving my cursor forward, it actually displays a green line symbolizing I am in the right direction, that is of 45 degree. Likewise, options of 45 degree, 90 degree, 135 degree and 180 degree, whatever you have selected, and if your mouse is aligned to the direction, then you are notified by green line therewith. Moving forward, you have isometric drafting buttons or tools. They change your working plane in isometric drawing. For now, let's stick with iso plane left. Moving forward, we have object snap tracking and object snap. Now what they actually do is, we have a command called O snap, short form of object snap. Okay, the dialog pops up, and I have selected some object snaps like in point, midpoint, center, intersection. Let's say I have disabled all of them initially. Okay, and let's actually get the idea of what these buttons do and how they are going. Suppose I created a rectangle of any random dimension, and suppose I want to draw a line, or I want to dissect this length of rectangle. Then if I press L, it gives me the CAD actually commands me, or I need to specify the first point to draw the line, and I'm now quite unsure about the actual midpoint of this line. So for that, the O snap button comes into action. Suppose I have enabled the O snap mode, and where I have checked the in point, midpoint, center. Now this in point section allows me to trace the in point of any line. Midpoint allows me to trace the midpoint of any line. Likewise, center, and you have other series of options which you can either check or uncheck depending upon your convenience or how actually you want them to appear on your drawing. Likewise, in object snap tracking, I've enabled some of the features like extension, intersection, perpendicular, tangents, and as I told previously, you can work with them according to your need. Let me show you a quick demo of what this extension subsection does. Like I have selected a line, I've entered a line, okay, and if I want to draw a line perpendicular, suppose I want to draw a line perpendicular to this line, not at the beginning of this line, let's say at about length 2 meter, or let's say 2 units right from this beginning point. Then I press line. Now seems like my in point is not enabled here. Let me enable this, and let me enable object snap tracking also. Now if I want to draw a line perpendicular to this line with 2 units right, then I press a line command and I slowly move my cursor to the right, and you can see the dialog box with in point values randomly changing along with my cursor movement. This specifies that the CAD is actually tracing your mouse cursor, that where it is actually supposed to start that perpendicular line. So you press 2 and you hit the enter, and your length is selected as 2 units. That is, you have created a line. You can see, if you zoom in, then you have created a line perpendicular to the initial line with 2 units right from the starting point. See how easy your task is due to various CAD commands. Likewise, moving forward, we have the annotative scale, and actually we will learn about all these features as we progress in our course. And you have button for changing your work settings, and likewise you have many more. We'll deal with them individually in coming tutorials. Okay, and now after this, let's clear our screen. One thing I want to show you is changing the color of your drawing sheets. So you want to change color to white, gray, or whatever color you like, then you need to hit the right button on your mouse, select option. The option appears. Now click on display. You will see a tab called color theme. If you select here light and press apply, then after a while your interface, your ribbon interface, will be converted into light color. Likewise, if you want to change the color of your drawing sheet, then color button, and in color button again at the top right corner you see a drop down of various combinations of colors. Now for tutorial work, I generally prefer the white background, so let me hit white color option, apply and close. Voila, here is my new colored work set. One thing I like to talk about more is units in this CAD. Okay, to know which units you are using, select a unit command. Just simply press UN button, UN, type UN short form, and you will be notified with the drawing units display box. Here you can see the lane type as decimal, architectural, engineering, and a preview of all these types of lanes are shown in the sample out box herewith. You can see, and you can select your preferred lane type. For me, I'll stick with the decimal. Likewise, you have precision, up to how many zeros after decimal you want to show accuracy in your drawing. For me, I'll select precision up to 2 digits. Likewise, you have angle. As similar to the previous selections, you can select the desired angle type looking at reference to the sample out box. Let me stick with decimal degree, and this clockwise tab, if you have checked the clockwise, then your by default numbering will be clockwise. It's numbering especially about dimensioning about angle, and if you have unchecked and leave it as it is, then by your default positive dimensioning of angle will be anti-clockwise direction. Now series of units like meters, inches, and even up to the light years. For now, we'll just select inch and let's experiment something with inch unit. Hit enter. Let me turn off my grid. Hit L and suppose I draw a line of length 10 inch. I hit 10 and I press escape, and this is my line of 10 units length. Again, suppose I want to make a little change in my input system, and I select meters. Now let's experiment ourselves with line of length 10 meter. To compare these two lines, we select the similar starting point and hit the number 10, which makes our line of 10 meter length. But in real world, these two units like 10 meter and 10 inches are vast difference. But what we saw here in our input system is there was actually no change in the line even if you change the unit preference. So this concludes the units, whatever unit you have selected in your unit preference, actually all of them produce the similar result. That is, CAD always takes the number into the unit of millimeter. So it has not recognized our drawing as this first line as 10 inch long, rather it has taken this length as 10 mm long. Likewise, changing our units to meter and drawing a line of length 10 meter has produced the no change in the drawing at all, because CAD has thought it again as the line of 10 mm long, 10 millimeter long, hence producing the similar results. So we change our scale unit in millimeters and work further with our drawing. Okay, this much for this video. Now I'll catch you in the second video with more details of CAD.